Wagner. I am the district attorney here in Adams County. I'm joined this morning by Lieutenant John Mays of the Pennsylvania State Police and First Assistant District Attorney Brian Sinnott of the Adams County District Attorney's Office. This past Friday on August 14th, the Pennsylvania State Police filed criminal charges against Abraham Cruz Jr. and charged him with 2 counts of criminal homicide, criminal conspiracy to commit criminal homicide, burglary, and arson. These criminal charges involve the 1980 killings of 17-year-old Deborah Patterson and her 41-year-old mother, Nancy Lee Patterson, which occurred in Freedom Township, Adams County. On August 30th, 1980, at approximately 3 a.m., the Pennsylvania State Police were called to the Patterson residence in Freedom Township, Adams County. At that time, they discovered Deborah Patterson had died from a shotgun blast to her face. Her mother, Nancy Lee Patterson, had died from a shotgun blast to the back. There was also evidence at the scene that Molotov cocktails had been thrown into the residence, and there was evidence that as a result of that, a fire had started in the residence. Paul Sell, the husband of Nancy Patterson, suffered a gunshot wound but did survive. Nancy Patterson's 2 younger children, a 16-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son, were able to escape the residence without injury. Shortly after this incident, the son of Nancy Lee Patterson and the brother of Deborah Patterson was arrested and was charged with these murders. He went to trial in 1981 in Adams County. He went to trial in Adams County in 1981 and was found not guilty. Beginning in approximately 2008, the Pennsylvania State Police began to reinvestigate these homicides, specifically Trooper Scott Denish and Corporal George Cronin of the Pennsylvania State Police developed information that Abraham Cruz, who was the boyfriend of Deborah Patterson in 1980, was responsible for these murders. Trooper Denish and Corporal Cronin conducted an extensive investigation into Abraham Cruz's background. And through their investigation, they determined that Abraham Cruz, along with his 18-year-old nephew at the time, Abraham Cruz Jr., committed the murders of Nancy Lee Patterson and Deborah Patterson in 1980. In 2012, Abraham Cruz was arrested in Puerto Rico by the United States Marshals. He was extradited back to Adams County, where I personally prosecuted him. In February of 2014, he pled guilty to 2 separate counts of 3rd-degree murder for the murders of Deborah Cruz and for her mother. He's now currently serving an extensive state prison sentence. Following Abraham Cruz's investigation, Trooper Denish and Corporal Cronin continued their investigation into Abraham Cruz and his involvement in these murders. As part of the arrest of Abraham Cruz, we allege that he conspired with his uncle, Abraham Cruz, to murder Nancy Patterson and Deborah Patterson. We allege that the shotgun used in these murders came from Abraham Cruz, and ultimately we will present evidence to show that Abraham Cruz was the individual who fired the shots that killed both Deborah Patterson and Nancy Lee Patterson. Abraham Cruz is currently in federal custody on unrelated matters. The Adams County District Attorney's Office and the Pennsylvania State Police will follow proper legal procedures to bring Abraham Cruz to Adams County to face the murder charges for the deaths of Nancy Lee Patterson and Deborah Patterson. I would like to personally thank the Pennsylvania State Police for their exhaustive and extensive investigation in this case, and specifically would like to thank both Trooper Denish and Corporal Cronin. I can tell you on several occasions they had traveled to Puerto Rico to attempt to interview Abraham Cruz, and it's through their perseverance that we were able to bring Abraham Cruz to justice, to bring criminal charges against him. And after his arrest, they have continued the investigation into Abraham Cruz's involvement. We have independent evidence against Abraham Cruz, and we're alleging that he ultimately was responsible for the murders of Nancy Lee Patterson and Deborah Patterson. The siblings of Deborah Lee Patterson are still alive. I met with one of them yesterday. I am hopeful that through the arrest of Abraham Cruz, who was the last person involved in this murder, that we will bring some sense of justice and some sense of closure to the victims of Deborah Patterson, to her family members. It's been 35 years since their death, and through the Pennsylvania State Police efforts, we're hopeful we can bring some closure for that.